how did Coinbase become what it is today?
Ooh,
So let me ask kind of an engineering question, actually.
Yeah.
Sort of from the Ruby wallet days. What are some of the interesting challenges there, or are they not engineering? Just the things that had to be solved. What were they? Engineering, regulation, financial, hiring, lawyers. What was it?
So post product market fit, yeah, a lot of it's scaling, and you got to build out an actual company. So I remember I was still writing a lot of code there for a while, and we were hiring in. We had like maybe 25 people or something. I remember one of our investors came by one day, and he was like, "Brian, how much of your time are you spending writing code?" And I was like, maybe 50% or something. He was like, "How much time are you spending hiring people?" I was like, "Probably 20%." And he was like, "I think you need to flip those numbers. Like, this company's not going to scale. You're the CEO. You don't need to be writing code every day. You're going to have to transition that stuff. Like, even if people can't, all that stuff's locked in your head. So maybe they're not going to do it as well as you for the first 6 months or something. But like, if you don't start to transition it, you're never going to build a real company. It's just going to be, you're going to be the bottleneck." So, like a lot of founders, that took me a while to like really internalize that lesson. I'd always heard people say that, and but I still was holding on too much to decision making, and I probably still am, by the way. Like, even to this day at Coinbase, where we continually have to push down decision making in the org, like even with 5,000 people, like who are the owners of each of these things? And so the temptation is people to push it up, and you become a bottleneck. And anyway, so yeah, you basically need to make sure you have enough money where you don't die if there's in some kind of a downturn, or hit break even in profitability. We were in a position where we were periodically profitable during up periods, but then crypto would go down and we were unprofitable. And so we had to kind of manage our own psychology and the balance sheet to make sure we didn't like die in the downturn, which a lot of crypto companies did. We had to basically professionalize a whole bunch of services that had been just very quickly thrown together by like 20-year-olds, right? Mm-hmm. Whether that was cybersecurity, it's like, okay, how do you go get like a really senior experienced cybersecurity person, but not someone who's so senior that they can't get their hands dirty and they can come into a company with 25, 50 people? How do you get a finance person to come in and do that? Our finances were a mess. Like, we didn't even really know how much money we had at certain times and stuff. I mean, it's embarrassing to say, but it was true. Like, I remember there was a point where we had raised, I think, like our Series C or something like that, and I think we had our bank accounts. And I just put like $25 million like in a different bank account, that none of this stuff was touched to the actual operation of the business. Because I was like, our operations were so messy, and we needed to hire a new finance person. And I was like, I'd heard horror stories of actually startups where they thought they had X amount of money, and then it turned out they had way less, and then the whole thing was insolvent in like 3 weeks.
So you wanted to have some padding to at least like, all right, I can at least count on this to save us if we go to like super negative.
Right. I mean, it was like a cheap hack, but that was like the only I could come up with. And, until we could hire like a real CFO and finance team who like, okay, now we got our arms around how much cash we have. It sounds silly, but we had such high volume of money coming in and out. Anyway.
What was the ordering of hiring, by the way? Like, how many engineers was it early on? You said CFO was not, you didn't even have a CFO for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, what was the landscape of hiring as you building up this company? Was it engineering focused?
Well, let's see. I mean, so the first person we hired was just like, we need to solve customer support. So we brought someone in to do that, because we were all staying up till midnight every night trying to do customer support. And then we got more engineers. And then I think maybe the sixth hire or something like that was a recruiter, because that turned out to be, you need to hire the person who can hire more people.
Yeah. That
turned out to be a great force multiplier. And then, man, you go on down the list. Eventually you want to hire some more senior people. We needed legal and compliance. We needed that really badly, because it was all kinds of questions about what the legality of it was.
Was it hard to find legal people that work with crypto, like serious adults? Because it's such a cutting edge new world.
Yeah. I mean, there was nobody who had like nobody had 3 years of experience with it, because it had only been around a few years.
That's right.
So yeah, we were finding people from adjacent fields. There's a certain personality type of people who are willing to join early companies, because they have no structure. You can't really commit to them about you're going to have this team or this boss or whatever. Like, everything's in chaos and flux. So it takes, hiring is one of the hardest things in the early stage, for sure. You got to find people crazy enough to join you on this journey.